Welcome back everyone and welcome back to Cookie Nerd Plays, and today we're carrying on with Aviary Attorney. Attorney what? Right, so now we're going to be calling the first witness. No idea who it is, going to be surprised, we're buggered. So, this whole situation just seems weird, confusing, I'm not quite sure what's going on, and we're very, very underprepared for this. And again, sorry if I get the voices wrong.
Well, I called the police officer who invested the crime scene. I call him on Inspector Justice Volunteer.
Oh, for fuck's sake, it's him again. I don't remember his bloody voice. What was my voice I used to quote for him?
Looks like mate's back on that mellow boy. Step up to the stand. Inspector, recite the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Again, I don't think that's his voice.
Recite your name and occupation for the court record. My name, Inspector,
They sound the same.
is Justice Volunteer. I am the servant of the law, scourge of the gutter rats. That will do, Inspector. We've all heard your monologues before.
Wow. Cocorico really is going for a speed record, isn't he?
Now, can you tell us what it witnessed on the morning of the 7th of January? Of course! At 10 o'clock.
Oh, for God's sake.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was called to the Louvre Grande Gallery by one of the King's Royal Guards.
Did he just say o'clock?
There I saw Prince Juan, King Louis Philippe, the corpse of Major Howell with a rose in hand, and around 24 citizens. The citizens and the king himself all attested to seeing Major Howell taking the rose from the Prince Juan's hand and then promptly dropping dead. And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse? The coroner determined with absolute certainty that the Major Howell died of poisoning. Aside from a prick upon the finger, there was no sign of external harm to Major Howell's body. Therefore, the poisoned rose must have been the cause of death. Putting the pieces together, that does seem very implicit of the prince. I have no further questions.
Damn. I was hoping that the coroner's report would determine the guy died from a freak heart attack or something. That would have make for a particularly speedy trial, wouldn't it? But nope, we aren't so lucky. Something else must be amiss in the old bird's testimony.
Right, I'll tear it apart. Your Honour, I wish to cross-examine the witness.
Falcon, wasn't it? Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand.
I won't accuse the Inspector of lying. I just want to make sure that every base is properly covered.
This sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it for now. Go on, Falcon. Do your cross-examination.
Right. We know nothing. At 10 o'clock in the morning. Do we have everything? What do we have? We have the book page, the poison, business card. We couldn't do anything with these, see. We've got nothing in our evidence. Shit. The corpse of Major Howell with a rose in hand. 24 citizens. Let's go for the poisoning. Inspector, you say the coroner determined with the certainty that Major Howell was killed by poison. Correct. He stated the signs and symptoms were textbook. There is no possibility that his death was natural. What kind of poison was it? Did the coroner mention specifically what kind of poison it was? He was not certain. At the time, the coroner posted that it was a plant-borne poison like that of an aconite flower. But when he learned how fast the poison had taken effect, he noted that was very atypical of aconite. Consequently, he suggested that it may have been some newly engineered concoction.
A newly engineered poison, you say? Well, that only reaffirms that this was a very deliberate assassination attempt.
Indeed.
Yeah. How exactly was Major Howell poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism?
His finger was pricked by the poisoned rose. He even commented out loud about it, seconds before dying. All 22 citizens who witnessed the murder attested to seeing and hearing this.
22. He said 12. Is there any possibility that he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to say, JJ. You just heard that 22 people saw the victim prick his finger and die. What you suggested? That the pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that Major Howell was poisoned, but I do doubt that the rose was the cause. Unbelievable. Only a total buffoon could fail to draw the blatant link here. JJ, as tempting as it is to sit here and lecture you on the basics of cause and effect, I'll end this discussion painlessly. Inspector, please tell the defense that you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. That should alleviate all doubt that the rose was, in fact, the poison delivery mechanism.
Actually, I can't tell him that.
I dread to ask, but why not?
We didn't check the rose for traces of poison. It just seemed obvious that the rose caused the poisoning given the timing of the incident.
Well then, now would be a good time to make a test. Here's a marvellous thought. We prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there's no poison on the rose, then Prince Juan lives and he is free to go. If the rose is poisoned, then the prince dies. But that's okay, because the punishment would have been just and fitting of the crime.
A marvellous suggestion.
No, wait a minute.
A marvellous suggestion.
What is this? A witch trial? This isn't America, Severin. That's not how we do things here. Calm your feathers, JJ. It was clearly a joke. There are far more humane ways of testing for poison. I'm sure the inspector will perform his duty with due diligence.
Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poison at all.
Why is that?
Given the dangerous nature of the flower, it was destroyed by a police force. It burnt it to ashes.
Tisk, such unprofessionalism. If we have no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, then this whole trial ought to be called into question. Nice try, JJ, but through the process of reasoning by elimination, we can still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else at the crime scene that could have caused the poisoning. Wrong. There was something else at the crime scene that could have contained the poison, something the investigative police blindly overlooked. Look at this. What am I supposed to be looking at? It is a paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre, the Salon de Tibre to be precise, and we can date its consumption to the date of the incident. You're not suggesting that Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died? I most certainly am. Oh, I gained a little favour. Okay. Did you see this wrapper at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector?
The police force didn't not have the time nor resources to trawl every piece of trash, every crime scene, I'm afraid.
In other words, you overlooked it. Tisk, outstanding unprofessionalism.
The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display, Inspector.
I offer my apologies, Your Honour.
I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damned job properly. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself.
That's not an easy voice to do.
As you wish. I'll take my leave. Until next time, messieurs.
We'll be seeing you again. So let me get this straight. This chocolate wrapper was found at the crime scene. Correct.
And you have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident?
I do. I have an expert food testing witness who's willing to testify if need be.
You have a foodie witness? I don't recall anyone like that. Who on earth are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see.
But do you know for certain that Major Howell consumed this chocolate?
Well, that is a fact that we are still investigating.
I see. I do have evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned.
Again, that is something we are required a little more time to definitely prove.
So then, in actuality, you do not have evidence that Major Howell consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak. Even for you, JJ. Let's move things along. I have another witness I'd like to summon. He is a man who claims to have had an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. I can call upon Monsieur Tustin Kingley.
Who the fuck is this? Is this someone we should have found?
Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath?
Who the fuck are you?
Hello. Hello. All right, the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, and to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Please state your full name and occupation for the court record.
My name is Trustine Kingsley, and I'm the person who fishes.
A person who fishes. So a fisherman.
Oh, that's how it is. I thought the French justice system was better than this.
I beg your pardon?
Here comes Trustine Kingley, the kingfisher. Clearly he must be a fisherman, because you hear all kingfishers are fishermen. Wow, you're carrying a fishing rod? And? Can a man not carry a fishing rod, reel and bait without bearing the branded as a fisherman? Look, the prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly he must be a horse jockey.
Oh, for pity's sake, fine. We can list your occupation as person who fishes and not fisherman.
Thank you.
Actually, why do you carry a riding crop, Severin? I've never even seen a ride a horse.
I don't know, JJ. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane?
This is veering quite far off the course. Could the prosecution please get back to his questions?
Of course, Your Honour. Monsieur Kingley, is it true that you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident?
Yes, I was sitting on the railing of the Pont des Arts. Where's that? Where the hell's that? Oh, there. Oh, shit.
The Pont des Arts. That's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw from the Louvre's south entrance, correct?
That's right.
And what were you doing at the time of the incident?
I was fishing. Kingfishers, am I right, Falcon?
So you could have had plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw?
Well, the Louvre's a busy place. Naturally, I saw a lot of people. But at 9 a.m, I saw the king, Louis Philippe himself, enter the building. He was surrounded by his entourage, of course. Then around 9:30, I saw the shifty-looking fox looking around the entrance.
Your Honour, I object to the witness use of the term shifty-looking. It's a vague and biased description.
Not really. He looked super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and crackling gleefully. And then I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem.
Rub the stem of a rose, you say? As if you were applying something to the flower, perhaps?
Well, monsieur, I really shouldn't speculate.
Of course. It was wrong of me to ask such a leading question.
But yeah, it definitely looked like he was putting something on the powder on the stem.
Wow! Even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like we have here is a direct witnessing of the defendant readying the murder weapon. The defense claims that the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes.
I smell perjury.
You do?
No question. he saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime. That's not believable at all.
I think you might be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Tosson's story into doubt. Your Honour, I'd like to cross-examine the witness.
Really? This nonsense again? You just heard the witness directly describe your client reading poison on a rose. What is there to question?
I'm trying to uncover the truth, Your Honour.
Fine. Do your thing. Go on, Falcon. Go make a fool out of yourself.
Ooh, this is a tricky one because we know, this is obviously someone we could have found information for earlier on in the case. And I have no fucking clue. I'm trying to think now. We got stem of powder. It's a shifty looking fox to me because he was at... Can I have a look at the fucking map? No. No, I can't look at the map. Oh, I am actually down money. Because he was at the other entrance, though, I thought. I thought he was at the other entrance. Monsieur Kingsley, you claim that you saw a shifty-looking fox. Yep, super mega shifty. There must be at least 100 foxes in Paris. How do you know that this fox you saw was Prince Juan? Well, he was wearing a straw hat that hung low over his eyes. I swear that's how you wear them in Spain. I'm not much of a fashion expert, but the rest of his outfit looked quite out of place for the French winter. Is that all you're going by? His fashion sense? Oh, I nearly forgot. I heard him call a passerby Signor. I thought that was peculiar. Well, that's him all right. No. Let's go by the powder. Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you saw a fox rubbing the stem of a rose. Yep, I saw it with my own eyes. How far away were you from south entrance? 20 meters, perhaps? 30? I'm somewhat doubtful that you can make out powder being applied to anything at that sort of distance. Monsieur, I don't claim to have seen the powder itself. I said that it looked like he was applying powder to the flower stem. It could have been a wax or a liquid or whatever, but the guy was definitely putting something on the flower. I see. Well, that's nice and vague. Never mind. I have no more questions about the poisoned rose. Let's go for this one. Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you were sitting upon the railings of the Pont des Arts on the morning of the incident. Yep. Is the Pont des Arts a good fishing spot? I assumed you would be better off fishing upstream, away from the city. It's okay, you would think the pollution would scare off the fish, but some species thrive in it. I managed to catch a 70-centimeter zander from the spot the other day. Really? A 70-centimeter zander? What bait were you using? Good question. See, some like to use worms, but I found that a good roach will always triumph. I object. This is completely off topic.
Sustained. Discuss your fishing business once the trial is over. Do you have any other questions about the Pont des Arts?
Nah. Fuck. Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you saw the king himself enter the Louvre. Indeed, I did. Who did you see in the king's entourage? Well, there was the king himself, obviously, and there were quite a few guards, maybe 4 or 5, including a big dog who I hear is the guy who died, Major Howell. I think that was all. I see. It is to my understanding that the king does most of his work in the Palais Royal, which lies in the north of the Louvre. So it's a little strange that you saw the king enter from the south entrance, is it not? I know what I saw, monsieur. JJ, there is little reason to doubt that the king entered the Louvre from the south. Are you really calling it this basic fact into question?
No, I'm just wanting to make sure that the witness was certain of what he saw.
I am certain of as a cephalopod.
No. There's obviously something missing here.
Yep, super mega shifty.
That's not a valid testimony. All foxes are shifty looking by default.
Wow, that's not cool.
Mon Dieu, JJ! It's the 19th century. You can't just throw out slurs like that in this day and age. I'm just saying.
No, you listen. France is better than this. We've moved past our need to hold back animals we don't like through the use of oppressive stereotypes.
Well said, prosecutor. Slurs are archaic. Now we, as a society, can hold back animals we don't like through much more subtle institutional means.
Right! Wait, what? Do you have any other questions about the shifty-looking fox?
I'm missing something. I'm lost now. I think I've asked everything. Okay. Yeah. Are you certain that the fox was handling a rose and not some other type of flower?
I'm pretty sure the red petals stand out quite nicely on a grey January morning.
So you are confident? You're absolutely sure that you clearly saw a bright red flower in the fox's hand?
What are you getting at, JJ?
I have reason to believe that the Prince Juan did not possess a rose at all. I think that he may have been in possession of a sprig of monkshood. Where am I getting this from? Or even a simple daisy.
Really? You claim that Prince Juan did not possess a rose, despite 22 witnesses testifying to see him handing a rose to the king? This is ludicrous line of inquiry. There is zero doubt that Prince Juan possessed a rose on the day of the murder.
Agreed. Defense, knock it off with this moronic way of thinking.
Ah, shit. I got nothing. Fucked up, Boily.
Do you have any other questions about the poisoned rose?
Never mind, I have no more questions about the poisoned rose. I've got nothing. I've done all them. Done all them. I've got nothing else. What? Come on. Come there. The type of flower. No, I don't know what else to do. I really don't know what else to do. I can't bring up any of the evidence here. Did I say that one? You had a good view of the Louvre's south entrance, didn't you?
Yeah, the Porte d'Arts is a great vantage point of seeing the Grand Gallery's south side.
What about the other entrances?
The other entrances? You mean like if you were entering from the Tuileries Gardens or the Place de Carousel? No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge.
This is one I haven't.
But of course, that isn't relevant. Monsieur occasionally witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with a flower in hand, and that's what counts. What if Prince Juan didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from? That's where he said he was. The Toulouse Gardens to the west. That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that the Prince Juan entered the Louvre from the Toulouse Gardens? As a matter of fact, yes, I do. I have definitive proof that Prince Juan approached from the west, not the south. Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I'm doubtful too. Go on, JJ. Show us this definitive proof that Prince Juan entered from the Louvre from the Toulouse Gardens. It's the book page. Look at this. A book page? Page 44 of the Don Quixote, specifically. It was found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. This proves nothing. I'm not done yet. Take a look at this. Don Quixote? This is the book Prince Juan has been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he has had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. You do realize that this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in the Toulouse Gardens prior to entering the Louvre. This also means that in all likelihood, the defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, not the south. He could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingsley from the Point d'Arts. What? I know what I saw, monsieur. A fine theory, Falcon, but maybe the defendant took the long way round. One can still travel from Toulouse to the Louvre south entrance by walking along the river. An extra 2 kilometers of walking, just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery. Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Okay, maybe the defendant deliberately left the page there to mislead the investigation. Now, you're the one who's blindly speculating. Sorry, that. It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis. You are fond of logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Fond of logic, aren't you? Let's talk about Occam's razor. When torn between 2 seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with that one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Which of these theories takes fewer assumptions? 1. The page from Prince Juan's book fell out of his way to the Louvre's south entrance. 2. Prince Juan deliberately planted the page on the off chance that it would be discovered, then he took the long way round. How dare you! The nerve of you to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts! Stop lecturing you when you stop making such basic mistakes.
Monsieur Falcon, please calm yourself. What is the point of all this yammering?
The ultimate point is that Toussaint's testimony is fabricated, made up, and utter fiction. No, everything I've said is the truth. I suspect that the witness isn't even a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman! See, he admits it himself. That's not what I meant. What a twist. Okay.
Prosecutor, you have something to know about this arrogant Falcon. His place, don't you?
He's getting nervous. I must concede.
You concede.
On this point at least, Falcon's evidence strongly suggests that the key component of Monsieur Kingsley's testimony is false. No! This doesn't mean that Prince Juan is innocent, of course. All Falcon has demonstrated is that this particular witness is unreliable. But I did see something, I really did. Alright, so maybe I didn't exactly see a shifty-looking fox. I made that part of the story up. But I did see a swan looking around the south entrance on the morning of the murder. Swan? A swan?
You shut up, witness. Your word is mud at this point. How can we possibly trust anything you say?
Your Honor, Judge Romulus, we're out of time. We're 10 minutes overdue to start on the hare vs. tortoise trial.
It's that late already. Curses. I was hoping we could have the case wrapped up in a single trial session.
Multiple trials, eh? It's a shame, but ultimately, an accurate sentencing is always preferable to a speedy sentencing.
sentencing.
Yes, all right. I don't need to hear you moralizing. Court will resume this Friday, 21st of January, 9 o'clock. Don't be late. Prosecutor, do you demand? Do your damn job. Get this stupid fox to conviction already.
I will do my best to ensure that justice is served, Your Honor. We got to Friday.
A lot has come up in that trial, huh?
Oh no.
Yeah, see? A lot has come up in that trial, huh?
Yeah, no doubt about that.
There's something bothering me. Why would that fisherman guy, Monsieur Kingsley, lie on the witness stand?
Well, it's possible that he was coerced or bribed.
That's just what I was thinking. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up a story about Prince Juan.
Let's keep an open mind. Anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. Fucking all three of them. But Judge Romulus the most. Judge Romulus, he's acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is discovering the truth. But why?
Maybe he was a vendetta against Spanish royalty.
I'm not so sure. There must be something else at work here. I don't even know what sort of voice to do this. Excuse me. Excuse me. Monsieur Falcon. Oh, hello. Sorry to bother you, but this letter just arrived. I think it's for you. A letter? For me? I wonder why it wasn't sent to my office.
Have you been demoted to courier status, Rupert?
Oh, hush, hush, Sparrowson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout.
Oh, good. Come back. So what does the letter say, Falcon?
It's a threat. A threat made with cut-out newspaper letters.
Wow, I didn't know these things actually existed. Let me see. Falcon, stop your investigation, or there will be consequences. Scary.
There was no question that this letter was originated from Major Howell's murderer. He or she must be aware that we're getting close to uncovering the truth.
Sounds about right. But why would a person write with cut-out newspaper letters like this?
Masking one's own handwriting would be the most common reason. Although, I can't help but wonder why they would bother, since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to.
We're still going ahead with our investigation though, right?
We're not scared of shit. Oh yes, absolutely. If a lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they would never get any work done. Besides, with only 3 days before the next trial session, we can't afford to be worrying about petty things like this.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow, you're right. Let's make those days count.
Is that you hinting at me to say I'm fucking up? Ugh, okay. Right. Right. We need a couple of things. We don't need to go... Alright, let's cross this off. We need to go back and speak to her. We don't need to go there. We don't need to go to the library. We do need to go there. Because we need to fucking speak to this bloody... Juan dude who's not royalty. We might need to go back there at some point. What's that? That's the prison. What's this then? Oh, shit. Okay, so yeah, we don't need to go. Right. Yes, we need to speak to Signe. We have to not go there. We don't need to go to the library. We don't need to go to the Palace of Justice. We do need to go to the chocolate at some point. I don't think we need to go back there. Something going on with R&M Associates. And we do need to go there. But they're going to have to wait for the next episode. This has been Cookie Nerd. You've been watching Attorney Aviary. What? You've been watching Aviary Attorney. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.